Hey guys, Dr. Drunk aka here with a game for you in my Tier 8 premium US Navy battleship, the Massachusetts. Divvied up with Farting Chicken, the Littorio, and Dandrick in the Talon. We are on North, and it is standard battle. You can see the build here. We're running a fighter plane in this case, and the captain build, we're running primarily a secondary build here with manual secondaries, AFT. It's more of a hybrid build, though, because we're looking for that extra heal and a little bit of concealment so that we can disengage. Tier 8 tends to see a lot of Tier 10s these days, so the ability to disengage and heal up really does matter. Starting off, right around the cap, slightly to the eastern side of the cap, we're going to actually push towards the east side because there are only two ships there, a Bismarck and a Pensacola. And we're going to give our Moss a little bit of a tap because he hasn't woken up yet. Now, if you looked at the title of the video is basically saying if I had to buy only one high-tier battleship, what would it be? It would be the Massachusetts. Why is that the case? The Massachusetts is a really, really nice package, if you will. She's relatively compact. She has a decent top speed of around 27, 28 knots. Guns are really, really good. She is 9 406mm rifles and 3 triple turrets. A fast reloading heal, of which with Superintendent we have 5 charges, and a fairly decent damage control party as well. But the thing that makes the Massachusetts really shine are her secondaries. As a full secondary build, along with signals, she has an 11.3 kilometer range. She also is quite tanky, which means that you can do a lot of work in terms of holding flanks and pushing flanks with her. Angling is going to matter because just like any USN ship, if you show that flat broadside, you are going to suffer for it. But when angled, she is quite strong, as we're going to see throughout this entire replay. Now, why would I say that she is the best high-tier battleship available? I mean, you have the Georgia, you have the Littorio, or the Roma, as it may be, because it essentially is just a Roma. You now have the Pommern. The Pommern may give this ship a run for its money, because the Pommern really does have an amazing set of tools. But I frankly think, even though the Pommern is really, really good, and 12 guns are really good, and the secondaries are really good, and the torpedoes are really good, and the hydro is really good, I think the fast reloading heal on the Massachusetts makes her so incredibly, incredibly versatile that I would still pick the Massachusetts as probably the best high-tier battleship in the premium shop. That, combined with her credit earning potential as a Tier 8 as opposed to a Tier 9, I think is just a little bit better. But onto the game. The Sims is on this side. We actually have 6 ships plus the CV on this side, so we need to be somewhat cautious. This Bismarck is a 10,000 IQ player who's just pushing straight up the 2 line. We're going to target the Sims with our secondaries until he goes dark, and the Sims does indeed go dark. So there's not much we can do there. I'm waiting. I'm watching the priority target number to see who's shooting at me. I suddenly see 2 people shooting at me, and it is time to turn out. I see one of them is definitely that Sims. That I'm not so worried about, but the Bismarck's guns pointing at me, and I'm not liking this. I'm really not liking this. We do get into secondary range, so we manually target the Bismarck. Again, we're using manual secondaries, so we have to manually target, and we chunk him for 14,000 points of damage. Now, at this point, we are outnumbered basically 6 to 4. I'm going to get myself in. We need this Bismarck dead because I need to be able to get into a kiting position here so that I can what's called slow kite. Slow kiting, especially in a secondary ship, is a technique whereby which you just basically slow down and you let the enemy essentially run you down. But you are still moving away from them, and as you're moving away from them, and it's funny watching a Ranger try to get through the AA of a Littorio and a Massachusetts to drop on us. That's actually really funny. But As you can see, I'm sort of throttle jockeying between quarter speed and stopped. And I'm just trying to wait for some of these ships to push into my secondary range. I'm angled, they can't do a whole lot of damage to me. Obviously they can do damage, and the Sims just pops up here, and I do call target, or Chick calls target on that Sims, as I'm kind of shifting in and out, and get my secondaries on him. And you're going to see these secondaries actually do what they do best, which is go to work on DDs and smaller targets. It's a DD, so we're going to shoot all of our main guns at this destroyer, because taking a destroyer off the map is always a good thing. And shots going in there. You can see those secondary hits popping up a few times here and there. And again, they don't do a lot of damage, but they do discourage. And of course, there's that flat broadside, and the Bismarck manages to punish that. Now, we are now even on ships on this side. In fact, we have a ship advantage on this side because our Moss is still alive there. So, I'm going to fire the front turret here, one of the front guns, and see if I can figure out what this Shores is going to do. Is he going to throttle jockey? Is he going to push? Is he going to turn? He does indeed continue backing up, so we'll drop that second turret on him. And now we're basically just going to push at this point. We have an Atago in front of us. I know his torpedo range is... He's going to be in torpedo range. I don't really want to deal with Atago torps. So we're going to try and put the island between a couple of those ships and myself. Oddly enough, nothing is shooting at me at this point, and I'm not entirely sure why. But that priority target number is really valuable. Seeing that there is nothing that is shooting at me, I have no fear of pushing up here. Pretty much as soon as I see something decide to target me, I get to angle and I get to protect my broadside. But as of now, I can get closer. I can get into mid-range, and I can... And of course, there are the Atago torps, which we knew were coming, because why would an Atago turn broadside if not to get torpedoes off? He does decide he's going to open up here. We elevate the guns a little bit, but goddamn Japanese cruisers are really, really agile, and they are able to turn almost on a dime. But we have secondaries targeted on him. He's going to go dark. Our Moss, for some bizarre reason, decides that he probably doesn't want to live anymore. Good for you, I guess. That's a big brain play right there. Smoking up next to a Bismarck with Hydro. And he's not going to last very long, spoiler alert. He ain't going to last very long. As you can see, we're going to put the island in between the Tirpitz, the Atago, the Shores, and myself, so that we can focus on the Bismarck. Chick and Dan are both focusing on the Bismarck, so it's already an unfair fight, and we're going to make it a little bit more unfair as the Moss goes down. We're going to make it a little bit more unfair. And this is what I'm talking about by that slow kiting. Now, I have a broadside Tirpitz or a bow in Bismarck. The Bismarck is a closer target. It's a lower health target, but the Tirpitz is a better target to shoot at. As you can see, I can chunk him for 17,000 damage because he's broadside. I can let my secondaries work over the Bismarck. It's additional damage, it's additional fires, it's additional damage over time on the Bismarck. Bismarck's front guns come in. Now, I am at a disadvantage here in that I'm broadside to the Tirpitz, but I am angled up to the Bismarck, and the Tirpitz, for some reason, as I look behind me, go, what are you shooting, man? I'm not there. Bismarck finally decides that I am enough of a threat that he can get his secondaries on me, as opposed to the other Bismarck who is behind me. But as you can see, the focus fire on this guy, he's going to go down here. No doubt, he's going to go down. So we're just going to sit here again. We are slow kiting. We're barely moving. He's moving backwards, so we're both slowly increasing the distance amongst each other. He's actually not falling for the trap that I'm trying to set here of just pushing in. More concerning and more annoying to me is actually the Atago, because the Atago's HE really hurts. that 203mm HE hurts, and it does have a ridiculous fire chance. So, and the Tirpitz does get a couple of shots on the broadside. So we're down to 25,000 hit points at this point, and we kind of just need to disengage a little bit. We do have a substantial amount of health that we can heal back up using our repair party, which will be back in 30 seconds. And the Bismarck behind me is now actually being an absolute bro. And he is rotating in to tank some of the damage with his 43 some odd thousand points of damage on his health pool available at the moment. Now, I said it before, what happens when a Japanese cruiser goes broadside? You should expect there's torpedoes coming. The Bismarck is doing the smart thing. He's trying to put an island in between him and one of those ships so that it is a fair one-on-one fight. In fact, it's actually not a fair fight because I'm sitting right here and I can help nuke that Bismarck along with him. But, as you can see in the corner of the map there, the Bismarck pops his hydro just in time to see the torpedoes coming at him, and he's going to need one of those for a flood. Guys, I cannot stress this enough. If you see a Japanese cruiser go broadside to you, I don't care what ship you are in, but if it's especially a battleship, you have to assume that there are torpedoes on the way. Looking for the best target here. I'm seeing that Pensacola starting to turn out, so we're going to just snap off a shot from the front guns at that Pensacola. And any second now, those shells are going to come in. And there's our Confederate. Easy peasy 12k. Surprisingly, that's our first kill of the game. And spoiler alert, this is not going to be a big kill game. This is not going to be an amazing damage game. More, it's going to be a case of what can the Massachusetts do, and why does the Massachusetts really deserve the title of the best premium high-tier battleship in the premium shop. Now, as you can see, a few minutes ago, we were at 25,000 hit points. We're at 38k now, and we still have 2 heals left. In fact, if you look in right above my ship on the left-hand side, you can see those little green numbers. That's the HP assistant. You can tell I can heal another 10,000 damage right now. So we could feasibly be back to almost 2/3 health. In fact, that's what we're going to do. And this is what makes the Mass so versatile. The fact that you can have damage dealt to you that you can kind of just, you know, reprint your ship. Especially if it's not Citadel damage, if it's damage over time, if it's fires, if it's floods, if it's just HE pen damage, you can heal back a lot of that damage. That basically means the Massachusetts has exceptional staying power. Granted, because she's a secondary ship, you will see a lot of people just charge into the middle of a fight in order to get those secondaries in play. Unfortunately, that's really not how you should play the Massachusetts. That's not how you should play her. She really does very, very well as a tanking ship. A kiting tanking ship. You know, a ship that basically takes advantage of the situation presented to her. And here we go again, an Otago, an IJN cruiser going broadside, and we finally get a Citadel on that little bastard. That'll take us up to 134,000 points of damage. Now, again, what did I say multiple times in this video? When you see a Japanese cruiser going broadside, you have to assume there are torpedoes on the way, and their Bismarck catches the torpedoes from their Otago. Kind of a bummer because it actually takes away a bunch of the damage that I could have actually racked up again, or another kill for me, but thanks for being a bro, Otago. I really appreciate your torpedoes. There they are. Not quite sure how many the Bismarck ate, but he did eat a few, obviously. And in any case, when you see a Japanese cruiser turn broadside, chat, what do we do again? We Turn in, because we know they're firing torps at us. The Ranger drops us for 2,000 points of damage, and we laugh, and now is our chance. We're going to try and get a little bit of revenge for all the lolly boats that he has murdered in his lifetime. Unfortunately, we cannot punish him heavily enough. He is the only ship left on the enemy team, and he is focused by 4 of us, so he's not going to last very long. In fact, he's not even going to last long enough to really get another strike off. Shells come in here, and Chick gets that kill on that Tier 6 CV. We do win, 140,000 damage, Confederate, 1 secondary kill, 6,000 XP. That's good enough for second on the team, 1,795 base XP. Div carrying the mail. Guys, we do play all of these on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/DrDrunk, aka. Head on over there, drop a follow on that channel. Helps us out really well. Drop a subscribe and a like on this one. That'll help out the YouTube channel. And of course, guys, it is last call. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Later.